Dear Twin Flame souls out there, welcome to the Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and today's in episode 183. Welcome back, my beautiful soul, to this Twin Flame Awakening Journey podcast, and I'm very happy that you're here today. In today's episode, we are going to dive into timelines, and one of the most common questions I always get about it. Does my twin flame, my divine masculine, is going through the same ego death at the same time as I do? And are they suffering the same way as I do? I recorded another episode another day, and in between so many things already happened that I had to sit down again and bring some information. Because when we're going to talk today about timelines, unfortunately, on the internet and overall, you can find a lot of misinformation about timelines. And what if I tell you right now, based on the quantum physics, based on the physics that we have not yet been able to translate, but it is there, we keep on seeing it, the so-called spooky action from the Einstein, what it says, that when we observe something, that happens. And what if I tell you that at this very moment, the union is happening with your twin flame? There is a timeline where you are in a loving, kind, beautiful relationship with your twin flame. And then there is a timeline where there is a separation. And then there is a timeline where you are about to go to separation again. And why I want to talk about it? Because of the timelines are not something based on the time, meaning of it's not going to happen 15th of May or 15th of August or 12th of August or 11/11. It's not about that. Timelines are happening constantly, and you are choosing them constantly. Every decision you make, every energetic code you jump, you are shifting the timeline. So imagine right now, close your eyes, that there are multiple timelines. Multiple, like think of yourself like this, that you will see like like strings coming out of you, like a lot of strings are out of you, and each of this string, what you're gonna pull has a different outcome. But until you don't make a decision, you don't know which timeline you're gonna jump into. And that's why the separation, and that's why separation consciousness and focusing on your twin flame will keep you in a separation. I made a post on Instagram about it, and I'm going to explain this today about in detail. Of course, those of you who would like to see the visuals and understand this a little bit better, you can head over to the Instagram or look at the visuals. I'm trying to make them as simple as possible because they are important. And another day I was sitting and something hit me when I realized, when I have said many times on my podcast as well, that until I understood, until I did this, until I started working with energy, until I did all of this. And then I stopped for a moment and I realized I actually never understood anything. I started to embody. And when the embodiment happened, the magic began. And in one of the episodes now, with that, what is going to come up to, I'm going to also talk about the manifestation in terms of can you manifest your twin flame and the limiting beliefs that might not able to get you where you're supposed to get. And they are very important parts of it. And this all happened over the weekend where I was in a very important and interesting workshops. I've said that millions and millions of times. One of the things there where I will never think of even twice of investing my money is energy and inner work. And inner work doesn't mean that I have to suffer, I have to feel so much pain, I have to be all of in that. No, inner work means you're checking in with your energy and you embody this, and you will see the magic happens. And the same thing, I'm coming back to the twin flames and on your awakening journey. We have now a retreat coming in Italy, for example. And on this retreat, we're going to do the same thing that I'm talking today about. How do we choose the quantum jumps and timeline? And I'm really, if you're listening to this podcast, I would really like to tell you, don't stop this today because it doesn't trigger what your twin flame is feeling. Because this is the key element that can really, really help you. Why? Because of, like I said, until sometimes we don't see how we are playing the record or the fear or something that is inside of us. And we don't notice how we keep on picking up the same timeline and same results and same things. And actually changing them is very, very simple. So today's episode is very real, very honest. It can trigger you. It can make you feel, oh, what is this? Why we are talking about it? But it's all physics. And I have said that over and over and over again. Your twin flame is your mirror and your awakening. And there was this another day, I've spoken to a lot of people recently. And I hear this over and over again. Even me, I do this. I say to you that your twin flame journey is your awakening journey, and we have to focus on your awakening. But then our mind likes the polarity, and the mind goes, oh, if it's my awakening journey, it means I cannot have the relationship with my twin flame. And the reverse as well. Some of us are very stuck in a relationship and they don't want to focus on their awakening part. But it's not like one or another. What I mean here is, if you're focusing on your awakening, you are indirectly focusing on your union, and it can mean absolutely a relationship. As I said, there are multiple timelines, and one of the timelines right now, right here, you are living in a union. So we're going to dive into that. So give me a break. And at the end of the podcast, I might read one of the Divine Masculine's email I recently received, which I think also brings another perspective and understanding what goes into their head that they disappear for so long, if we have a time for it. If not, the next episode will be there. So if you are subscribed, you can hear about it. So as I mentioned, that one of the most common questions, which I get over and over and over again, is my divine masculine going through the ego death at the same time? So now I want to tell you, your ego death is yours, and it does not belong to your twin. And let me just say this one more time. Your ego death belongs to you. It is not something that happens at the same time. So now it doesn't mean that it cannot happen within a couple of months difference or something like this. I remember when I went through it definitely wasn't my first ego death. And I have here a bad news for every one of you. We'll not have only one ego death of our life. We're going to die over and over again. The moment we again have an identity, we stick to that, the energy will come and say, that role is finished. Let's say goodbye to this and let's move on to the next one. Spiritual journey or the life journey is not set in a stone. Just the twin flame journey teaches us to live from the heart, and this is extremely important to connect to the love energy. You become such a magnet that's why now I understand. Again, I'm going to say I understand, but at the same time, it's not that I understand. I embodied this when I heard over and over again that your twin is you, the love has to come within you, and it will all come back to you. It was very hard to understand for me. That's why I say we will not understand. We need to embody that. And the only way to embody is to go within, get rid of the limiting beliefs, get rid of the judgment. And the judgment is one of the episodes that is coming also this month. And this will blow your mind how easily you can shift that journey around. So, going back to that, your twin flame journey is a very personal journey for you. And it is the most intimate spiritual work you're going to ever do. And that ego death is happening inside of you. And that is your soul calling you back home, who you are. Now, let's just describe what is the ego death of your journey. So, it's anything of the identity you have ever built. The masks, the armor, the stories you tell about yourself, what you are, who you are, what you deserve, everything starts to dissolve. And I was asked another day when I made the Instagram post about the frequencies and explaining them all, I was asked, but how does it work for twin flames in a sense of when you feel the twin flame love? And I will make another post about this, but I briefly say to you, it's the same way that first you go in a super high. You go into this high energy of oneness, love, everything. And then it drops down and you start from the bottom. And that's why it is so hard and so complicated. Believe me, I went through that. And I don't wish that to any one of you. I don't want to see anyone suffering. But at the same time, it clears up. And if you're able to stay where you are and go within on these very hard times, you are able to shift that. I promise you this. If I was able, believe me, everybody else is. Because I was one of the most, I wouldn't say stubborn, but everything I share today, I would have never believed that. So we call it as a dark night of the soul. We all know about it. So in a way, the ego death on Twin Flames journey is where your identity is going to dissolve. And it's going to show the light to your thoughts, fears, and anxieties. Everything is going to be there. It's going to show us our darkness, our habits that are not good. That's why it's not the best place to be in. We're going to face the darkness there. It's not called as a joke, a dark night of the soul. But here is where I can say so many divine feminists or the chasers can get stuck, and including myself. You start to track your twin's journey instead of your own. And this is very, very important here. I remember when that first happened to me, and I didn't believe any of that, but I felt very strong connection. It's something impossible to explain until you're experiencing it. And I know many of you who are listening, you know what I mean. There are no words. What happens between them, this connection, and how much you feel home and how much you feel the oneness within with everything around you. But then what starts to happen, since we don't hear from our twin, since we don't have a direct communication, and there can be many layers why we don't have the direct communication, we start thinking and tracking what your twin is doing. So now we start wondering, is he or she feeling this? Are they breaking down too? Am I the only one who is going through that? Is he going through the dark night of the soul as well? I've said that before. I remember when I was so upset and so empty inside of me, and I said, I just wish he would feel the pain I do, because I cannot anymore. I cannot. But I really want to stop you here for a moment. When I was going through the dark night of my soul, that was my dark night. These were my fears, my limiting beliefs, my ways of living, my identities, all of that. So despite the fact that we are the same soul, we have a different identities, different fears, different upbringings, different life situations. So you are not the same, but you are from the same source. So now The fact that I got activated at this time and it awakened me, or my dark night of the soul, all of that were mine at this moment. Although my case is a little bit different than I've heard from others, that my twin went through a very, very hard time as well. So we were quite a parallel with one another. But it's not always the case. But what I mean here is that when we are going through this very hard time, and I know you might be going through this hard time, and you might be already have passed this, but I'm going to explain you through the timelines and physics today, which I think will change your life today, and especially when you're listening to this. When you are shifting your timeline and your energy and you're going through that, this is the right way to go. Because the moment you start tracking your twin's journey instead of your own, and I tell you now, you are going to give the energy away. And I go into that step by step. Your twin flame is your mirror, and they are not your project. It's very important. It's not something we complete and finish. They're your mirror. And at the same time, they are not your responsibility. That was a very hard lesson for me to learn, that I am not responsible for anyone else, only for myself. And they might never have the same experience as you are having right now, even if they told you everything they were going through. And that's a very important part. And because of we are experiencing this reality from the different ways. So now think about this from the different quantum perspective. And we're going to go into quantum physics and all of this very soon. So bear with me over here. I'm going to go step by step, because sometimes what I talk, it sounds a little bit madness over here. But I tell you that this is most probably one of the most powerful episodes you can listen about twin flames and timelines. As when you are able to embody this, you become the master. And I know that those of you who are coming to Italy will do that live session on a retreat. And you get to see it. I think we had one more spot because one person couldn't come now. If any one of you want to, it might happen. You can always email me and ask. I cannot guarantee. I don't know. And the workshop now on the 14th of June, the workshop on Patreon, what we're going to do, and this is attracting the love and getting into the timeline you wish. This is mind-blowing what you're going to do there. And you will see this live. There is no, how do I say, I see more and more how powerful we are. And I think we don't believe we are powerful. And that's why we are so-called unconsciously running around and thinking, maybe that was this supposed to, and that was supposed to. It's like Carl Jung was saying, when you make, how it was, the unconscious conscious, you see the world in a way of differently. So I go back to the quantum perspective. So you and your twin are two entangled particles. And what you do on your side of the field affects the whole. And I'm going to read this one more time because sometimes we need a little repetition. What you do on your side of the field affects the whole. So when you are clear, when you ascend, when you let go of all of that part of you, the pain, the ego constructions, you are literally pulling the energy of the connection into a higher frequency. You're doing your part, and that is not unfair. That is actually perfect. And you've heard over and over and over again where I speak about it, focus on you. That's why all my workshops, what I have built, and you're more than welcome to join them on Patreon. You can join the first one for free. You can see the recordings, everything. And I have seen how it changes people's lives because it changed mine. Everything that I do today changed my life. I don't do any of these things that I just think, oh, this is now a popular topic. This is now a popular thing. Let me catch on to this. Let me tell you. No, I practice on my own first. I connect on my own first. And then when I see it's happening, the momentum is there, I say, well, then it has to be shared. Everyone has to know that. Because your game, your life is worth of living from the highest timelines, and you choose them. I can tell you one beautiful thing that I have chosen from this beautiful timeline are you people. The ones who are listening to this podcast, the ones that have connected to me over the time and we've met on the retreats or workshops or calls, they are divine. And I believe that I am on a timeline where I attract the most amazing people. And you are the most amazing. So thank you for that. Thank you for clicking on the same timeline with me, whether you are in a pain at the moment or in love. But we meet at the same timeline, and here we are, making magic happen. I have this theory now, and I don't believe even for once that those who are coming on the calls with me, that it's an accident. And every time I know, and that's why it always ends with the energy work, because I'm like, yes, because your soul was asking for that. Call me crazy, call me however. Let's go back to so what I said to you, that it's physics. It's simple physics. Energy is physical. We live in a world of mathematics. And I will also touch upon very soon about the topic of being a good one on this journey, being the one who is always suffering and thinking that if I do a good thing, then the good will happen. And I explain you why this is also not working in a laws of physics or law of where we are, but that's all for the future. So let's go back to. So the divine masculine has its own timing. On dark of the night, everything is there. You cannot rush it. You cannot make it happen. You cannot predict it. But what you can actually do, and the only thing that actually works, is really come back to yourself. Your ego, that is where everything begins. It is the door. It's the gate. It is the 1111 doorway. 1111 is a portal that is calling you. And the question is not about, is he going through this too, in that sense? The question right now you should ask yourself, what are the things I'm being asked to release? What are these things I have to let go of? Because of when we look at on the lower frequencies that I spoke about, I think the episode of 178, if you want to go back to that, they are the shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride. Apathy, my favorite word of the year. So when we go back to this is all under 200. So when you feel shame, when you feel guilt, when you feel apathy, when you feel grief, when you feel fear, when you feel desire, anger, pride, all of this is there. You cannot pull yourself up from there. So if you are on this right now, wonderful. Nowhere to rush, nowhere to go. But the moment you're able to push yourself over 200, that you heal regardless of what they do, you stop waiting for them and you start living. You face your own shadows instead of running from them, and you start to love yourself first. And that's where the shift is happening. Because you cannot pull your twin up while you are below 200 frequency. The runner cannot return to someone vibrating in desperation and fear, and it simply repels. It is physics. Energy is based on physics. We know magnets, how magnets come together, how they don't come together. That's all, and that's how we work. That's how we are. So there is no point of, like I said, we will not understand it. We can only embody. And even though I have spoken millions and millions of that, when I understood this and when I understood that, in fact, I didn't understand anything. I still don't understand, but I embody it. So now for those who are wondering what is about the Kundalini awakening and why is it part of the journey, which many of you have been and have the Kundalini awakening, Kundalini awakening and ego death are very deeply intertwined. I can today say that 99% of the people who have been on the twin flame journey had their spontaneous Kundalini awakening. And the rising of a Kundalini energy is the force that takes everything away from the false self. And as the Guru Jugat told us, or told me and I loved, saying, Kundalini puts you on a path. And it does. It calls you. When Kundalini calls you, it calls you loud and clear, and you cannot do anything about it. And when the Kundalini rises, it moves through the chakras, it clears, it burns, it transforms. That's why it's crazy what can happen. I really would like you to leave a comment right now. One word of your ego death that happened. One word that just clicks right now. This is why the twin flame journey, you feel things very physically, and it's not emotionally understanding. You will not, I tell you, I know that how our mind is looking for the answers and how our mind is all of it. But the mind will not figure this out. It's not emotional. It is your body, it is your nervous system, and your twin is not required to be having that experience at the exact same moment, because this is yours now, and it's a super, super important. Because other side of when this happens, when the dissolution happens, that's where the union lives. So, and for a while when I started working with the energy, and we still have the same, you come for the session, we connect to the energy, we do see what your twin is feeling through channeling, because it's all in your field and it's not disappeared anywhere. And we see what's happening in your field. But behind the scenes, we are getting rid of the limitations. And that's why I say it somehow happens behind the scenes. We can talk of one topic and we are there, but you don't notice what happens behind the scenes. So now we're going to dive into timelines. Because of internet, I see a lot of misinformation about timelines. We think that timeline is linear somehow, that it's going to happen now on 13th of June, 2026. That is the timeline, that is the time. And it's not like that. Full moon, new moon, solar eclipse, and some other events such as a Lion's Gate and summer solstice and winter solstice, they are very powerful gates which help you to choose the best timelines. So during this time to meditate, to connect is very, very essential. One of the reasons I love Lion's Gate, because of Lion's Gate changed my journey into union. And that's why I celebrate it. That's why it's there. This year we have a full day event, full day retreat, online. You can join anytime, any place, and it will be filled with all of the workshops that I'm talking over here. twinflameawakeningjourney.com. Anyone who wishes to join, tickets will be on sale very, very soon. So I'm gonna go, and why I want to talk about timelines, because timelines happening right now, right here. The fact that you chose to listen to this podcast today is a different timeline. The fact that you decided to send a message to your twin flame today, you shifted timeline. The fact that you decided that I will go and let's say I'll go and have coffee over there, you shifted timeline constantly. There are so many, and I'm gonna talk about this now. Because in quantum physics, there is, I don't know if you have heard about it or you have seen it somewhere. It's called the many world interpretation. So many worlds, many timelines happening at the same time. And every moment of observation, every choice does not produce a single outcome. It's going to give you branches of realities. Every possibility that could happen actually does happen, but in a parallel bunch of universes. So, in a way, there is a universe right now where you and your twin are together. So now you would ask me, so why is it not here? Why? Because of you haven't energetically stepped into that belief that this can actually happen. So what it means is that there are millions of timelines that exist simultaneously. So now, which one do you want to actually live in? And this is something I said we are going to do on the workshop on 14th of June, and we're going to do an Italy retreat. And in Italy retreat, people will be able to see this in person, how they shifted timeline and how they stepped into what they wanted. So time as we perceive it, as we see it, is not, we see the timeline right now linear. I was just this weekend on this beautiful event, and there was a session, and one person was asking, can I manifest things, let's say, by this December? I want them to happen this December. And I'm not going to say that the person gave a wrong answer. Maybe it just didn't come up with that. But one of the things is time is not linear. That's why in my channelings, in my sessions, I don't like giving time, because time is not January, February, March, April. This is what we made it in order to function in a 3D world, but it's not real. The time doesn't work on that. So we perceive the time as a sequence of past, present, and future. But we can't go to past. Can we go back to past today? No. Can we jump into future? No. So the past, present, and future are happening at the same time. Now here is a tricky part. Our past is going to direct our future. Everything we believe, everything we have experienced, everything that is there. And why I talk about it, because I have seen it so many times when people are coming on the calls with me, or I'm having a session. And before a person is about to shift their timeline, let's say they need to reach out to their twin. And they come to me and say, yes, but what if I reach out to my twin right now and they will reject me? And because of they did that in the past, and then I did get hurt, and so on, so on, so on. None of this had already happened, but you have built yourself a story. So now what happens? This is going to happen. So in a quantum physics, the time is not nonlinear. So all of the moments that you have right now are existing at the same time. Somehow, like a book, you choose which book page you're going to open. And I want to mention one more thing. Our awareness is going to say which page of the book we are going to experience. Your awareness is the key. I am not a perfect person, and I'm not planning to be a perfect. I have my flaws. I make mistakes. I don't know all the answers. I'm a human. I am just the way I am. But one thing that has helped me tremendously is an awareness. I've spoken about this previously on my podcast as well, that I had a tendency to go to masculine energy, that I start making decisions. I feel I have to go, I have to do, I have to take care of everything. And this journey made me free, because now I have an awareness. When I start doing this complete random talk with myself, I stop and I go for a walk. I let go. And this comes from a person who was one of the most stubborn, of thinking I have to work hard, I have to get things done today, I am this and that. Look how many limitations I have put myself. And I really invite you today to think about this as well, because it matters. If you want to dive deep into this, all of that, like I said, the workshop is coming on 14th of June. We dive deep into that. We will exchange it. So as I said, that the future version of you, the future of you and your twin flame is already happening right now, right here. Because it's a frequency. And your job is not to create it. It's already there. It's already there. You don't have to create anything. The timeline is happening. But what is your job is to become energetically coherent with it. So when you find today, and now I'm asking you, the union exists. Do you know that the union timeline, the one that you are perceiving, is existing already? When you find that present moment, and when you drop out of the beta brainwave, so that's the active brainwave state of anxiety and control, and you go into the alpha theta state of deep meditation, you become a pure consciousness that no longer is connected to the same body and same identification and environment and the same predictable timeline. So you're stepping out of the current timeline, and it's a very simple one. It's so easy, and I've tried that millions of times on my own, and I've seen it's working all the time. And on Twin Flame Journey especially. And you might be wondering, why do I talk today about the timelines? Why do I say this kind of things? What matters? I want my twin. I don't care about the inner work. I don't care about this and that. But if you don't care about the inner work, if you don't care about what's happened internally inside of you, then you truly don't care what happens outside of you. So you are just letting things happen, just letting yourself to be unconscious. But I know, my love, that you are not unconscious. And actually, the fact that Kundalini got awakened inside of you made you to feel all of that magic. And now what is asking from you? To connect to that magic. But I tell you briefly, if you are focusing on your twin, every video you watch about divine masculine is feeling this, divine masculine is this, divine masculine is all of that, you are giving your power away there. And there you are back to the beginning. I did the same. And I don't believe, to be honest, somehow I don't believe that I would have understood what I'm saying today, and I would have still spiraled back because it felt more safe to focus on somebody else than myself, because I had to face my pain, and it wasn't very nice. So anything that was about them, and I could Google when are they coming back, how they feel, what's happening to them, all of this gave me some sort of a comfort. And that's why I think why I also have enormous amount of compassion and love towards whichever stage somebody is in it. Because it sounds very simple. It sounds very simple to embody. It sounds very simple to become conscious all of a sudden. But it's not that. It requires practice. It requires connection. So I want to step into the theta healing. I'm sure many of you have heard about the theta healing, because it's actually one of the most powerful modalities that you can do for this. And you can soon now book this session also online with me. But I want to go into the theta healing because it's a brainwave state. And I've said many times, I am a believer that our nervous system needs to be regulated. And that's when the Kundalini first gets activated. Our nervous system is so freaking wild that it's impossible to even explain it. And we need regulation for our Kundalini. Guru Jugat also said that another time, and I totally agree. It's nothing hard is to activate the Kundalini, nothing hard, but maintaining the stability requires connection. So think of the same thing, like inside of you right now, there is a, how we call that, nuclear energy awaken, and you don't know how to hold the nuclear energy. It's going to explode. And then there is another part of it, which I think we miss a lot on this journey. There is a phase. For some of us, it's shorter, some of us, it's longer, but there is a phase of the dark night of the soul where it is very difficult. And I spoke about this right before the episode, so you can listen over there what to do and what's very important. So we go back to the theta brainwaves, because now we're coming from the nervous system to the brainwaves. And this is the theta is very important, because it happens between when we are almost about to fall asleep, right before we are going to drop, and right before we're going to wake up. So you are able to access, and this is the meditation. Those of you who've been practicing meditation quite some time already, you can step into there very quickly. And that's why the manifestation happens very quickly. This is incredible. And a union, but I'm going to talk about in the upcoming episodes why you can't manifest your twin flame. It doesn't mean you cannot, but I explain you from a way our mind thinks we manifest our twin flame. And that is a wrong way of manifestation. But coming back to these theta brainwaves things, so meditation, why every twin flame coach talks about it, because if you're able to step into that state, you can identify, clear, and rewrite the belief systems that you are holding in particular timeline. And this is, I tell you, we live in a world of information. Use the ChatGPT, or use this or use that, this AI, that AI, all of them are AIs everywhere. We ask this, we ask that, but we don't ask ourselves. Actually, I pause you for a moment here and I ask, what did you ask about yourself today? Did you ask, how do I feel today? How my heart feels today? What is in there? So think about this way today. Your current reality is a direct reflection of what you believe at the subconscious level that is possible for you. And if you have deep beliefs that love is dangerous, or that you will always be left behind, or that you are not enough, those beliefs are not just thoughts. These are energetic frequencies that you are broadcasting into a quantum field. And the quantum field is matching you. And I tell you another very, very big thing that I see in the twin flame communities, and I've said that many times: stop the separation consciousness. Everything we are going, divine feminine, divine masculine, and I know for a dopamine, best thing ever. You get your dopamine, you see my twin flame is doing this, this is what's happening to them, this is what's there. But your nervous system will be so messed up from there. Don't do that to yourself. Honey, my love, don't do that. Because in theta healing, I'm also going to say, and we use that inner dance is one of the most life-changing, because you get to see all of the life, and that inner dance is coming on my website as well now. You can do all of this by yourself. You don't need me, not at all. But if you are looking for that, find today this 5-10 minutes to go into, because 95% of our beliefs lie in our subconscious, and 5% are in the conscious mind. So you are projecting your sub and unconscious belief into the world to create your reality. And believe me or don't believe me, come and try. I'm not going to force here to anybody to believe me. You don't have to believe me. Just come in here. And this is why affirmations alone will not work. I love myself. I am beautiful. My twin loves me. I am this. It doesn't work. You can consciously say, I'm worthy of love, and then the nervous system is sending the message, but the love will hurt me. I'm not good enough. My father didn't love me. I didn't see the love from there, and it's all in there. And unfortunately, a twin flame journey takes us back to the beginning. It took me. I've said that over and over again, that I'm not here as some relationship advice or putting people into union. I'm here to show you how you can regulate your nervous system and how you can stop broadcasting from the higher level. And it's not my mumbo jumbo. It's all there. And actually, all of this is out there. I just wish there would be less information about your divine masculine is like that. Your divine masculine doesn't feel this. They don't feel anything. They are stupid. They are this. They are that. And that brings more separation. Simply separates you more and more and more. And that breaks my heart, because you were supposed to be together from, like in a union within, from the day one. But the matrix, the reality, likes the separation. And so I go back to this, that if you are here today and saying, I am worthy of love, I deserve love, look, I am love, and your nervous system is broadcasting, love will hurt me, the subconscious will always win the frequency battle. So if you go into that state and you change the belief at the root level, your life will change. And the frequency changes and the timeline changes. So you don't repeat that. You are not unconscious of your timelines. I'll go into for all of that very, very deep, but I just bring in three things. When you going into theta state of meditation today, you can ask, and at the I was thinking if I put at the end of the podcast, but maybe I'm putting in Patreon. You have more time to settle in. Ask yourself the questions: what do I believe at the deepest level about this connection? What do you believe? Write this down today. What do you believe at the deepest level about this connection? I'm not giving you any answers here because I don't want to give you information. What do you think of your worth? What do you think of union being possible for you? Now identify the belief, witness it, clear it, and download the new one. We're going to have a session. You can try that. So you are more than welcome to come and join and see. Now for the Kundalini energy work, which is already available on a website, and you're more than welcome to do this. For all of you who have done this is your most powerful timeline shifting tool. Believe me or not, if your nervous system is regulated well and the Kundalini is nicely activated, you are in the highest timeline, it happens. I've seen this with my own eyes. I go into an activation session. Then I go into the theta state of changing the timelines. And then I'm looking. People are emailing to me. I just had, for our retreat, I was trying to contact for something for the retreat that we needed. And I did get quite a lot of no's that, no, that's not possible, not right now, not this, not that. I went to activation. I went to the theta state. And I got an email 45 minutes later from completely who I never contacted, never asked anything, saying that they have been listening to this podcast and they would like to collaborate. And then they were having their offer over there. I'm not making this up. And the same with my twin. Why I share this with you, my dear? Because I have sometimes a feeling that the universe is right in front of you, open and screaming and saying, are you ready to step into that? Let go of that old. And then something inside of you freezes and you go back. So if you're listening to this episode today here, don't go back. Don't. Now step into that. Because Kundalini energy works at the DNA level. I spoke about this on the last episode. You can go back listening to this, the code. And this is not a metaphor. This is not something I'm making up. This is something I think, none of it. And I've said to you as well that when I said I understood the twin flame journey, I embodied this because the DNA changed. And so until today, I do use the words to explain you. But at the same time, the silence is more powerful than anything else. So when the energy is moving through your body, it's clearing the generational patterns and it dissolving ego structures and raising your vibration frequency to match the reality you came here to live. So trust it, work with it, do not resist it. And I know myself when we do the Kundalini activations on the workshops and retreats and the first sessions, 2, 3, we don't let it happen. Because the nervous system is feeling, okay, what is going to happen to me? What am I supposed to feel? Am I connecting to my twin? Is it going to bring my twin back? So we give the energy out, and at the same time protecting. But luckily, Kundalini is intelligent that one moment you drop, it takes you over. And that's where the magic begins. And I mentioned embodiment a lot. So embodiment is where, because timeline shifting is not only mental exercise. It happens directly in the body. So any somatic practices, conscious breath work, movement, sound healing, ceremony, everything anchors the new frequency in your body. And the timeline shift that lives only in your mind will not hold it. It needs to live in your whole body. And another thing, I've seen it happen so many times, and that happened to me, that when I was in the breaking my marriage, finishing, I said, I'm enough. I don't want to be here. This is not real. And I went on a retreat, and there we did the conscious breath work. I see all of this journey. I saw everything. And I came back, and the connection between me and my husband had changed 180 degrees. I would have never believed that. Never, ever I would have believed that if I would have experienced this. And I remember at that time I didn't know anything about it. And I remember I was sitting down and thinking, what just happened? Why I see this now like that? Because I shifted timeline. And then apparently when I shifted that timeline, my twin was back in my life too. And the timeline I shifted to was that I got an happy marriage, a beautiful one, a connected one, and then my twin flame also in my life, who understood all of a sudden everything. Try to make sense of it. There's definitely another timelines here and there where I have jumped. So let me just tell you one of the things. You never miss your timeline. There is no timeline police or something that says, oh, you missed that, this didn't happen to you. Every single moment is a choice point. Every single thing. And you can start from the morning. Every single decision you make is a timeline. Every new breath is a quantum observation. And every moment you choose a higher frequency thought, a higher frequency feeling and belief, you are going to step into a different reality. Because the version of your life where union exists, where the true love is calling is real and present and physical, that timeline is not somewhere in the future. It can happen right now, the same way like you met your twin. Exactly. You stepped into that timeline. And your work is not to wait for it, wait for the divine timing, wait for the next portal, wait for the next information, wait for the next, none of it. It is to become one. And I just want to say one more thing before we're going to finish. Looks like we cannot read the email today. Going to read that on the next episode. No problem. We're going to go from here. Enjoy it. So, union and separation are not two different places you move between. They are two states that exist at the same time. Right now, the union is existing. You can call me crazy, you can call me mad, but it is existing. And let me explain you how it is actually really, really happening right now here. So, let's say you are at the moment, you pull yourself away. And when you pull yourself out as an awareness, you are able to see that there is a union version of you and there is a separation version of you. Which one today you focused the most time on? Did you focus your time on the separation, that this will not happen, this is not here, this is not real, this is this and that? Or did you focus that I feel one, I feel union, I don't wait for the text message, I don't wait for that? Which one? And in quantum physics, happening the same way. The one that becomes the lived experience is the one that you are observing. The one you're giving the majority of your attention, your emotions, and your belief to. And I have said that over and over and over again. When you are watching or consuming the content about twin flames, how divine masculine is not feeling it, how divine masculine is running it, how divine masculine does not know anything about the connection, how they don't feel anything, how this and that, unfortunately that will become the truth. Because you are observing it. I told you, pull yourself out. You look at two different realities. You see one of the union where you are one, and you see one of the separation one, and you're focusing on which one. You are the one who is choosing it. And I did too. That's why sometimes it breaks my heart when I see that information out there, when I see how much it gets this dopamine hit that yes, there's, let's say, a tarot reader somewhere, yes, your divine masculine, look at them, they are in so much pain, and they will come back to you, they are waiting for you. And all of this is, and you are in that timeline. And there you go. That timeline just happened. You are in a separation, your twin is in pain, your twin feels agony, your twin doesn't come to you. Here you go. Now you would ask me, but what if there is a tarot reader who says, yes, your twin loves you, yes, your twin is coming to you, all of that. Yeah, but that's also, if your belief system is there, if your system is grounded, that is going to be the truth. If you believe in this and your body can accept the frequency, that's going to happen. 100%, there is no doubt in that. Same with money, abundance, people, everything. But the question is, can your nervous system hold it? That is the big question. That's why Theta and Kundalini work are like hand in hand. Inner dance, life-changing. So I bring you an example on the phone. Right now you're sitting on your phone. You have not heard from your twin, let's say, for 3 months. So you pick up the phone, you look at the silence, and your nervous system goes, oh well, look, separation is gone. This is the proof. They're not coming back. And in that moment, you have just observed it. You have collapsed the wave function into separation timeline. And not because it's the only truth, but because that state you chose makes it real without your attention. Now you look at the same phone, same silence, but the time you put it face down, you close your eyes, you're gonna take 3 very slow breaths, and you ask yourself, what would I feel right now if I knew at the deepest level that this connection is actually eternal and forever, that cannot be broken by the 3 months of silence? And if you feel the warmth, that is you choosing now another state. That is you beginning to collapse into the union timeline. Nothing has changed with the phone. The silence has not changed, but what you are observing is gonna shift it. And that is very, very powerful. Anyways, it was a beautiful to talk to you today, and I really clearly feel that you were ready for that. You were here for that reason, to feel the union consciousness and knowing the timelines, and the fact that you just listened to this podcast will change your journey. You are one, you are in union, and you are in oneness. I will be talking more about this, of course, and there are emails coming up. All of this, as I said, I had different plans, but always so much to talk, so much to share, and help you along the ways. I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for all of your support, all of your love, all of your beauty, because of you are the union, you are the love, and there is nothing more beautiful than you. If you feel you would like to connect, if you feel I am ready for this, take me there, twinflameawakeningjourney.com, and all of this is possible, not far away from you. Italy retreat, workshop on 14th of June, Lionsgate event. You don't want to miss this year's Lionsgate event, I promise you. One day full of actions and energies and healings and transformations, and you can do that on your own, from your own home. Log in, log out, or come only for one session. You don't want to miss that when the universe is here to help you to the next stage. Thank you, my beautiful twin flame soul. You are closer to union than you could ever believe. Thank you for the love. Thank you for being here. Lots of love and light.
Are you tired, feeling empty, tired but can't sleep, stuck in a fog? You should come back home. You should come back home. Yeah, lost your mind, soul too heavy, heart so lonely, all hope feels gone. You should come back home. Yeah, you should come back home. Won't you dive in the river and come back home? And come back home. Feel the weight lift off your shoulders. Oh, feel the power, purest love. You should come back home. Yeah, you should come back home. Yeah, won't you dive in the river and come back home? Come back home. Yeah, come back home. Yeah, come back home. Won't you come back home? Come back home. Come back home. Yeah, come back home. Come back home. Yeah, come back. Won't you come back? Come back. No more fight left in surrender. Find peace forever. Child, you're enough. You should come back home. Yeah, you should come back home. Won't you dive in the river and come back home? Won't you dive in the river, come back home?